Hey everyone, this is Nigel from Coldwell Banker, and on this channel, we talk about what's happening across Long Island, real estate development, housing market updates, and everything in between that impacts life on Long Island. A massive development directly tied to Long Island commuters just took a major step forward, and honestly, I think this could become one of the biggest infrastructure stories affecting Long Islanders over the next few years. I was reading a recent article discussing how a contractor team was officially selected for the massive Penn Station redevelopment project. I'll have the full article linked below in the description if you guys want to check that out for yourself. So if you commute from Long Island into Manhattan regularly, then you already know that Penn Station has been one of the biggest frustration for a lot of you for many years. You have a lot of very crowded platforms, a lot of congestion, you have stress during rush hour, you have delays, you have some very confusing layouts, construction always going on everywhere. And for a lot of Long Islanders, Penn Station basically feels like part of the daily grind at this point. But according to these recent reports, this project is now moving into another serious phase after officials selected the development team that will help to oversee the transformation of the station. And this is not some small cosmetic renovation. The plans being discussed involve major upgrades to commuter flow, expanded concourses, improved entrances, modernization efforts, additional retail and infrastructure improvements that are intended to make Penn Station feel significantly more functional and much more modern. So there's also discussion around improving rail capacity and reducing some of the bottlenecks that many of us need to deal with constantly when taking the LIRR. Now, obviously, whenever New Yorkers hear about massive transit projects, there's always skepticism, understandably. People immediately start wondering, how long is this actually going to take? Will it go over budget? Will commuters actually notice meaningful improvements? Will construction become yet another headache for us? And honestly, those are fair questions because New Yorkers have heard big promises around transit projects before. But regardless, this story matters a lot to Long Islanders because transportation infrastructure is deeply connected to Long Island's economy, to the real estate market, and just the overall quality of life. Long Island is heavily commuter dependent. A huge percentage of residents rely on access to Manhattan for work and for business opportunities. And the cleaner, safer, and more efficient commuting becomes the more attractive many Long Islander communities become as places to live. So that can eventually influence development. It could influence migration patterns and even housing demand over time. So while this may sound like just another construction project, the reality is this could potentially reshape the commuter experience for millions of Long Island Railroad riders over the coming years. And I really think this is one of the biggest Long Island infrastructure stories people should definitely be paying attention to right now because transportation affects almost everything. It's a big part of our lives, where people choose to live, how often they commute, how much stress they deal with daily, even how desirable certain neighborhoods become in the future. So this is definitely a story that I'll continue watching closely because Penn Station is such a major part of daily life for many people across Long Island. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or moving anywhere on Long Island, feel free to reach out to me directly. All of my contact information is down below in the description. And if you enjoy Long Island real estate housing updates, news, and everything that's happening across Long Island, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to continue covering stories just like this.